What's up, guys, and welcome back to my video, Living with Ashley J. Thanks so much for clicking on that video. And today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be discussing church hurt. So, this is not a popular topic. It's often shunned upon when you talk about it. So, grab you some tea, some coffee, some water, whatever, because this is going to be slightly long of a video, but not too long. So, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience and what I've done or what I do when I experience church hurt. So, as I can remember, as far back as being a little girl in church, I adored so many people, looked up to them, things of that sort. I had really great mentors. I can remember being a young adult, young and married, having children, leaving the church for a bit and coming back. When I did that, I was automatically put in a single mother backsliding category. No one knew I was married, but I was judged. Um, and it hurt a lot because today, more often than none, back then it was never really talked about. You hear about old people like, oh my gosh, so and so did that, so and so did this. More so to say that people act like they ain't never sometime, and they're kind of rude and mean to others, and that kind of destroys people or gives them um, bad self esteem, what have you, or just feeling bad about themselves in general. Might not necessarily a low self esteem thing, but make it, and they also feel like they're not worthy to be in the presence of God, or just going to church. Period. So um, later in long in life, I also experienced church hurt, unfortunately. I think we all go through it, um, even if it's a little bit or a lot. We all go through it at some point or another. I, um, and I'm sorry if I'm saying a lot, y'all. I'm trying to be wise with my words. So I like doing ministry. That's something I enjoy. I don't do all the ministries that a church may offer, but the ones where I know it's I enjoy, that relates to my gifts in general that God has given me, I try to stick to those ones. Um, and they could be a clutch for me sometimes. What I mean by that is I can overpower my plate with personal things, church things, etc., etc., have all these endeavors going, and I know it's too much. So I had to prioritize things because it made it sometimes it made me have a different outlook on the type of ministry that I was working in. Sometimes people can be cruel, rude, not understanding, annoying. I'm just naming a bunch of words how I felt and how some of you all may feel as well. So I'm saying all that to say is I enjoy working with people. The part I don't enjoy is people being bitter, people not caring about nobody but themselves. What else? People not being friendly. You know, sometimes you can literally go to work and say hi and bye to people, be cordial, but then when you come in the house of God, you feel like I don't have to talk to that person. That person made me feel like this, and that. Whatever. Y'all had discourse, and it just kind of, or unfortunately, churches have cliques as well. So everybody not doesn't vibe with everybody on different levels, and I get it. But in reference to doing the work of the Lord, I feel like everybody should be able to come together. So I had this situation in particular happen to me to where I enjoyed this particular ministry. Excuse me, and financially, it was something I was literally putting my own finances into it. So, and at first it became to be okay, and then I had to explain um, to the leader of this ministry how it was producing, how this was happening, and they were so callous they didn't care. So outside of my tithes and offerings and everything else I'm doing, this is something on top that nobody never knew that I was doing, and how it was flourishing the way it was flourishing. So, you know, I kind of stepped back, not because of the financial part, but because, how people treated me, the callousness, acting like I was a black sheep, um, acting as though if I'm supposed to behave in a certain type of manner just because it's the house of God. I get it, but then I don't get it because it be certain instances where if it depends on if it's a particular person, they can get away with murder up in here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean literally murder, but you know what I mean. But when it came to me and other individuals, and I, when if my expression was too humanistic for you, or if it was too real for you, or if you feel like you've never done that, I feel like everybody has done something, whether it was in the house of God or outside or whatever. But I think, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, my phone rang. So, like I was saying, uh, sometimes church hurt doesn't have to be necessarily big. They can, they, people can bite you where they know they can get you. So, and what is at reach? Sometimes people just generally don't care because it's not them. And they expect you to have steel, a body of steel, um, a fading mind, and just everything else. So, and I think that's wrong. So, if the church is supposed to be a healing place and people are supposed to be this and supposed to be that, I feel as though, like, if a person came off the street and they had an issue with smoking or drinking, whatever their issue was, whatever their sin was, because we're all dealing with something, right? If they had that issue and they accidentally lit a cigarette in church, what will we really cuss this person out? Will we tell them they can never come back? What will we do? So I feel like as though sometimes people in leadership, sometimes other people in the church house, they forget that they're human too. And just because no one at the church has been exposed to the things that you are capable of or the things that you have done, nobody has opened up your closet. Stop acting like we aren't human. Like, stop. And I think apologizing to people, even if you don't necessarily understand where they're coming from, because I'm going to say understanding and caring is two different things. Um, if you don't understand where a person's coming from and why they have these type of feelings, you can cause people to legitimately stumble. And God does not teach us to not care about people. It says love, agape love. Agape is loving without any conditions. Like, I'm going to love you no matter what. I understand that I don't have to go home with you, but I need to treat you as though God's going to hold me accountable for how I'm treating you. So that's the part of church hurt that I think we don't deal. We don't deal with the humanistic part. And especially when it comes to leadership and other people, it sometimes, or it's been my experience, people get away with whatever they want to get away with. And the other little people, quote unquote, are subject to hurt, are subject to distancing themselves, feeling a certain way, like they're nobody's there, like they're literally alone in the pew. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it, y'all. And for those of y'all that are experiencing things, trust me, I have gone to worship service with my children, literally, and it has literally just been me, my kids, and God worshiping. Like, physically, other people were there, but because people didn't talk to me, because people didn't care for me at the particular time, I wasn't any good use for them. They didn't speak to me. So that's a type of church hurt. It's like, what have I done? And I think about a list and rolling down, like, I ain't done nothing. And quite frankly, honestly, you don't love me. You only deal with me based on your need for your ministry or for things in your personal life, because if it was agape love, and even if I did something, God has already forgiven me. So why in the world do you want to continue to hold me on a pedestal of shame? So my encouragement to you guys is just, if you're dealing with church hurt, or if you have dealt with church hurt, or if it comes up again, because it may come up again, make sure that you're rooted in God's word. You have a great prayer life. You have a great study life. You have devotion every day. This is a daily thing. Daily, daily, daily. That way, if you come up against the enemy, if you come up against something that's going to get you down or things of that sort, you have those spiritual mechanisms to help you fight off whatever is messing with you. Physically, we get it. This is not about flesh and blood. It's different stuff that we dealing with. This is a spiritual battle that we're in. So make sure you have that foundation. Make sure you surround yourselves around individuals, or whether it's on the phone, that or great motivation that'll keep you pumped up. Y'all can feed off each other. Real motivation, not somebody that ladies, if you got a male, make sure that he's really a man of God and he ain't trying to get in your pants, or he ain't trying to have sweet nothings. He ain't trying to do none of that, and vice versa. Make sure it's legitimately somebody that you all can hold each other accountable for. Okay? Also, make sure, even if you having issues with leadership, whatever the case is, overlook that. Pray for them, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get to heaven. You want glory on your name and everything like that. So look past that individual, because they are still human. Even though they might act as though they're not from time to time, and that you're just a peasant. And I'm only saying that from experience, because sometimes that's how I felt. Like, literally, it's legitimately how I felt. Like, you treated me like I was a peasant. So just make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do according to Christ, according to God, because church hurt can keep you in a place that could possibly lead you to hell if you let it, because we got to let stuff go. We got to forgive people. We got to let it go and all that good stuff. And I'm going to say, somebody going to come in the comments and say, you know what, Ashley, you need to go to the person and tell how you feel. Yes. However, make sure your heart's right. Make sure you're right and things are right. And you go to that person if it's really something that cannot be reconciled. And make sure you have a clear, a mutual witness there to mediate. But if it's not that serious, y'all, just pray about it and move on. Forgive and forget. I know that's easier said than done, but do it. Also, let me say this. I find myself thinking I legitimately have a friend of the body, right? Or a friend, that I could talk to, a family member, whatever. And legitimately, they not your friend. What I mean by that is that you thinking that's somebody you can go to in a very intimate, special place and tell them about whatever church hurt or however you're feeling. And legitimately, they've been and told somebody else. And they be like, oh, it was done, quote unquote, innocently. No, you've been and told somebody else, or told the person that made me feel some type of way. And now I got a whole issue because I trusted you. So be careful who you talk to. If you got to go get a therapist, a journal, and make sure, importantly, you talk to God. So that's what I have for you guys today regarding church hurt. I hope this blesses you. It finds you well, things of that sort. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll bring you more videos such as this. Oh, let me say this. I forgot. Let me say this. Make sure you block, delete, reverse people in your life that keep you down in reference to church hurt, because they could be in your own church. They could be in your own backyard. They could be in your black book. We got a black book. They could be in there. So get them people out your life, because that's a part of church hurt too. So I forgot to mention that. So love y'all. Peace.